What if I told you that William Shakespeare, the world's most famous playwright, didn't actually write any of his plays? Some people believe a secret person wrote them, hiding right in front of us. Curious, you're in for a wild ride. Let's start with a really popular conspiracy theory. Was Queen Elizabeth actually a man? This crazy theory says that the real Princess Elizabeth died when she was just a little girl. The people in charge were scared of what would happen, so they came up with a crazy plan. They found a young boy who looked a lot like Elizabeth and replaced her with him. This boy, raised as Elizabeth, would then become the Virgin Queen. This story has been around for ages and is part of many legends, but as you can guess, there's not much proof. People who believe this theory say that the descriptions of Elizabeth's body are unclear and that she never got married as proof. They talk about secret papers hidden in some forgotten place that hold the truth about this royal trick. Could there be any truth to these shocking rumors? Historians don't believe it at all, saying there's plenty of evidence that Elizabeth was a woman. Paintings from that time, even though they were made to make her look perfect, show a woman's face and body. And life in the royal court with all its rules and ladies-in-waiting would have made it almost impossible for a man to pretend to be a woman. But people still love this theory because we all like to think about the secret lives of powerful people. It's a juicy mix of scandal and mystery, a secret history whispered in dark corners. And even though the evidence is weak, it shows how much people want to believe exciting stories, even if they're not true, to fill in the gaps in history. It makes you wonder, behind the curtain of power, could anything be possible? Next up, the Pyramids of Egypt. These giant structures, built by a civilization that disappeared a long time ago, still stand in the desert today. We're told the ancient Egyptians built them, a truly amazing accomplishment, but some conspiracy theorists think there's more to it. They look at how big the pyramids are, how perfectly they're built, and they see something out of this world. You guessed it, they believe aliens built the pyramids. It's a theory that has captured many people's imaginations, fueled by our endless fascination with the unknown. Imagine, if you will, the ancient skies lit up with the lights of spaceships. These beings with technology far beyond what we can imagine came down to the Nile Valley and taught the Egyptians everything they knew. People who believe this theory point to how the pyramids line up with certain stars, suggesting the Egyptians knew a lot about astronomy. They're amazed by the huge stones, some weighing tons, and wonder how people without modern machines could have moved and placed them so precisely. And then there's the mysterious Sphinx, its old face looking out at the desert, seeming to hold on to secrets. Some even believe that these massive structures are not tombs at all, but ancient power generators using some kind of unknown energy. They imagine the pyramids glowing with a power that could be even stronger than our most advanced technology. Of course, most archaeologists don't agree with these ideas. They point to decades of research, carefully digging up and studying the pyramids, that show how they were really built. They explained that the Egyptians, using clever techniques and lots of workers, were definitely able to build these monuments. But still, the alien theory is still around. It shows how much we love a good mystery and how much we want to find answers for things that seem impossible. Maybe it's easier to believe that aliens visited us than to accept that our ancestors were capable of such amazing things on their own. Whatever the reason, the pyramids of Egypt remain a source of endless fascination, their true origins hidden in the past. Chapter 3, The Emperor's Abduction, but let's not stop there. Our journey through the world of conspiracy theories takes us to the battlefields of Europe during a time of revolution and change. This is where we meet one of history's most mysterious figures, Napoleon Bonaparte. A brilliant military leader, he came from nothing to become Emperor of France. But what if I told you that Napoleon's story takes a very strange turn? Did you know that some people believe Napoleon Bonaparte was kidnapped by aliens? You heard that right. Some people say that his sudden and unexplained disappearance from a battle at a very important moment wasn't a retreat or a smart move. They say it was because aliens took him. Imagine the chaos of a battle. Smoke everywhere, the sound of swords clashing. And then silence. Napoleon, the emperor himself, is gone. People who believe this theory say that there's no other explanation for Napoleon's sudden disappearance. They talk about strange lights in the sky that night, of weird things seen by scared soldiers. They imagine Napoleon being taken away in a beam of light, his fate unknown. Was Napoleon taken by curious aliens to study him? Did they think he was such a powerful and clever leader that he was dangerous to their plans for humans? Or maybe they just wanted a closer look at the man who had conquered most of Europe. Of course, history tells a different story. The accepted story is that Napoleon, losing the battle, retreated with his remaining soldiers. There's no proof that aliens took him, but it's still a fun idea for conspiracy fans, adding a bit of science fiction to the already exciting life of Napoleon Bonaparte. The image of the emperor not dying on a battlefield but on a spaceship flying through space is a pretty cool one, don't you think? And Chapter 4, The Führer's Flight. And while we're talking about big events that changed the world, how about this one? Did Hitler escape his bunker and run away to Argentina? The year is 1945. World War II, the deadliest war in history, is almost over. In the destroyed city of Berlin, Adolf Hitler, the man responsible for so much death and suffering, is facing defeat. Or is he? The official story says that Hitler killed himself in his bunker as the enemy closed in. But conspiracy theories offer a more exciting possibility. They say that Hitler escaped in secret, smuggled out of Germany to South America, where some people were happy to help him. Imagine a group of cars speeding through the bombed-out streets of Berlin, going to a secret airfield. Inside one of these cars, disguised so no one can recognize him, is Hitler. He gets on a plane and leaves behind the destruction he caused. People who believe this theory say there are problems with the official story of Hitler's death. They say there was no body and that people said they saw Hitler in South America after the war. They tell stories of secret Nazi groups hiding in the jungles of Argentina. Could Hitler have escaped justice and lived the rest of his life in hiding? It's a scary thought, the idea of this terrible man not being punished for his crimes. While historians don't believe these stories, saying there's lots of evidence that Hitler died in Berlin, the conspiracy theory is still around. It shows how much we are drawn to the darkest parts of history, how much we want to find answers even if they're just guesses. The possibility, however small, that Hitler survived adds a disturbing footnote to the history of the 20th century. It reminds us that some wounds from the past never truly heal, and that the memory of evil leaders can last long after they are gone. Chapter 5, The Phantom Time Hypothesis. But maybe the craziest historical conspiracy theory is that the entire Middle Ages never happened. This isn't just changing history, this is deleting a huge part of it. This theory, called the Phantom Time Hypothesis, says that between the years 614 and 911 AD, nothing really happened. That's right, 300 years gone? Poof, it sounds totally crazy, right? But stick with me, because this theory takes us deep into the world of people who want to rewrite history. Imagine powerful people in the past changing time itself. This theory says that the Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, working with Pope Sylvester II, made up these centuries to put themselves at a specific point in history. Why would they do this, you ask? The reasons are unclear, but people who believe this theory say they wanted to make Otto's rule seem more legitimate, to create a family history that was longer than it really was. They point to supposed mistakes in historical records, things that don't make sense in buildings and documents, as proof that these centuries are completely made up. They question if the methods used to date old objects are accurate. They argue that certain architectural styles from the Middle Ages couldn't have been built with the technology that supposedly existed at the time. It's a theory that would completely change how we understand history, rewriting the textbooks in a huge way. Of course, most historians don't believe the phantom time hypothesis at all. The evidence against it is very strong. Archaeological discoveries, records of the stars, and countless historical documents all show that the Middle Ages did happen. But the theory is still around because people are always fascinated by the mysteries of the past. It reminds us that history isn't always clear, that people can interpret it in different ways, and sometimes even change it. The idea that such a big part of time could be erased, that the world we thought we knew is fake, is both scary and strangely interesting. It makes us question what is true and real. Chapter 6. Unveiling the Obscura. From Shakespeare's secret writer to aliens building pyramids, these strange conspiracy theories make us question everything we thought we knew. They make us look at history with a skeptical eye, reminding us that sometimes stories are more powerful than facts. But underneath these crazy claims is a deeper truth. We are endlessly fascinated by the unknown, and we always want to find answers for things that seem impossible. What's the craziest conspiracy theory you've ever heard? Tell us in the comments below. And if you love exploring the strange and mysterious parts of history, hit that like button, subscribe to Obscura Mysteries, and let's keep uncovering the hidden stories of our world together.